Follow a journey sparked by survival. Enter hidden worlds forged by history. Explore lands fused by culture. Touch the spirit sharpened by experience. Come face to face with true masters inside the deadly arts. Bangkok, capital city of Thailand. A city of contrasts, where the past and the present fight for space, where the pace of ancient tradition clashes with the frenzy of modern life. Martial artist with 25 years of experience, Josette Normando has come to Bangkok to penetrate the world of Muay Thai. The West knows it as Thai boxing. Muay Thai demands a mix of power, speed, and sheer endurance. Fearless fighters try to down their opponents with feet, fists, elbows, and knees.
I guess the biggest concern I have coming into Bangkok is to be able to make it through. It's going to be intensive training with professional Muay Thai fighters.
Muay Thai has ancient origins, perhaps 2,000 years old. To truly understand it, Josette will have to live and breathe Thailand's history and culture.
By making an offering at a Brahmin shrine, I'm following a fighter's tradition of invoking the spirit's protection against serious injury. But before I can reach the essence of Muay Thai, I have to win privileged access to its masters. To earn their trust, I will have to prove myself willing to endure rigorous training and pain.
Josette has asked Bob Carver to prepare her physically and mentally for what is to come.
No tension across here. You want to feel like you're relaxed here. Okay. So the difference, classical form, you want to keep your shoulders down.
As head of the Muay Thai Association of Canada, Carver is Josette's passport to the closed world of the Ajarns, the masters of Muay Thai.
Across, pass. Good. Yeah, that one's better. Good.
Impressed by Josette's martial spirit, he agrees to give her an introduction to his master, Ajahn Chai, the ally she will need in the male-dominated world of Muay Thai. Ajahn Chai left Bangkok at age 20 with the intention of opening a school in the United States. In 1968, he founded the Thai Boxing Association of the United States, and his reputation began to spread.
Ajahn Chai's teaching schedule takes him all over the world. He once told me, "I will stop when my plane crashes."
I'm going to be meeting with Ajahn Chai. He's already in Thailand, and I haven't seen him in a couple of months now, so it's going to be interesting to be with him. In reality, I guess he will consider himself my master, my first Muay Thai master.
It took an entire year of courting Ajahn Chai before he finally agreed to meet me in Bangkok. As an expat living in the States, Ajahn Chai can bridge both cultures. So he is the perfect choice to introduce me to Thai traditions and help me gain access to the inner world of Muay Thai.
You can see the
Ajahn Chai has no school of his own in Thailand, so he chooses a park near his childhood home to practice.
The knee is going to be point down. No, when you do the knee, point down. Okay. Remember when you knee, yeah, point down. Just point. I'm going to punch you in the face. All right. Relax. Go.
Thank.
Yeah. Now, relax. Stay just like the way, not the Aikido now. Just stay on the tight stand now. Good.
Ajahn Chai teases me because of my many years of Aikido training. I keep going back into the wrong stance.
Use the knee, but remember, body weight to the back. Don't try too hard, just relax, okay? Go.
Thank.
Yeah, that's good.
With Ajahn Chai's lesson in my head, I can't stop thinking about Muay Thai. Even the pitiful sight of elephants begging on the busy streets makes me think of Muay Thai colorful history, with its warrior kings fighting on elephant.
Accurate written records chronicling the history of Muay Thai are non-existent. All that remains is an oral tradition in which legends often replace facts. Pageants like this, presented all across the country, show how the people cherish and celebrate their history. Muay Thai has its origins on the battlefield, with or without additional weaponry. Soldiers and kings alike practiced Muay Thai in peacetime to be able to ward off aggressors in wartime. The heroes of Muay Thai became legendary, their stories passed from generation to generation. Today, fighters as young as 6 aspire to the glory won by ancient Muay Thai champions. But today's heroes fight in the ring, not the battlefields.
In another corner of Bangkok, Ajahn Chai corrects my fighter stance, head tucked in and fist held high. I should not maintain eye contact like in karate. Instead, I have to keep my eyes on my opponent's collarbone.
Kick. Yeah. Relax. Good. Go. No. That look terrible, man. Come on. Do it again. Kick your hand up first. Good. Good. Yeah. What the way I do? I want you to count to 30. Stay like that. Make sure count to 30. 1, count loud.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. Go. 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 Good. Okay.
Bob Carver tells me Ajahn Chai's blinding speed has been said to rival that of the legendary Bruce Lee. Ajahn Chai repeats to me the advice his father gave to him. Be soft as silk, strong as a diamond. Lesson number 1. Be calm and never show anger. But if you have to fight, be strong and be resolved.
Muay Thai is often considered the most demanding of the martial arts. Josette has chosen a difficult route to the heart of Muay Thai. She wants to follow the footsteps of professional Muay Thai fighters, the modern warriors of Thailand. But unknown to her, Ajahn Chai is planning a surprise.
So Ajahn, this is like the type of school that you like.
He starts by taking her to a traditional Bangkok backyard camp, the kind of camp that has existed since the 1600s, the kind of camp where he began his career.
Okay?
Ajahn Chai orders me into the ring.
Yes.
I can really go?
Yes, you can wear it. But you gotta take the shoes off. Okay?
We know, for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Josette is training with Ajahn Chai, a renowned Muay Thai master. He's tutored her one-on-one. Now he wants to test her in the ring. Traditionally in Thailand, women were not allowed in the ring. Even now, this ring will be purified afterwards to remove the supposed curse.
I mean, when before I tell you the way you stand, remember you go bang. You got to go. Because remember, the kid, they look at you.
I know.
I don't want them to laugh at you. All right? That's why you gotta do bila. Every time when you kick, you go back. Okay? And then keep your hand up. เอาเลยครับอย่าบอกเขาเลยครับแต่อะไรพูดไปเลยแบบที่ล่อคุณล่อเด็กๆนะฮะเอาเลยออกเสียงด้วยก็ได้ครับทีคิก that's it right way you can follow with the kick yeah yell it go grab kick too yeah How you feel, Joseph? You know what he said to you? He said your left kick beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, left kick. You're not tired. Don't show him you get tired. Man. You're gonna keep that. How you feel?
Good.
I don't think so.
He's right. I'm exhausted. But there is nothing like being told that you have some talent to keep you going. Then Ajahn Chai throws me a curve. He tells me he will be leaving in the morning. Now what? Looking around, I realize just how hard these kids train, and I get an idea. Maybe this is where I should start. It's kids' fight night at this suburban fair. Ajahn Chai's sister and her husband asked to tag along. My trainer, Bob Carver, flat out refuses to go to these kinds of fights. He feels uncomfortable watching young boys fighting without protection. I'm uneasy, but I have to find out for myself. I'm here to watch one of the boys I met at the camp. At 12, he's already fought more than 30 fights for cash prizes. Scouts come to fairs like this to find young talent for camp owners who hope to turn them into future champs.
Muay Thai has its own rituals. Before entering the ring, a fighter has to put on two kinds of amulets. This head circlet, the mongkong, and the prajid, a band of cloth around his biceps. These sacred items are an essential part of the Ram Muay, a ritual dance of homage. Before every match, the fighters perform this tribute to teacher, coach, and king. Led by the screeching sound of the oboe-like pi chawa, a group of 4 musicians plays during the pre-fight ritual as well as the fight itself.
I myself have trained kids in karate, and I'm all for kids starting martial arts when they are small. But these boys are fighting for money with little protection. They have gloves but no helmets. They are 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. I have a lot of mixed feelings about the kids competing. I don't want to judge others, but I need to find out how Muay Thai has become so commercialized. Maybe knowing its origins will help me to understand. Bob and I have been told about a master who embodies past traditions.
Is one of the masters in Thailand working to preserve traditional Muay Thai. His house, where he teaches, is named Barn Chang Thai, the home of Thai craftsmanship. It is a center dedicated to preserving native fine arts.
แต่เราก็จะอย่างนี้แล้วก็จะอย่างนี้แทนที่อย่างนี้ไม่เอาอย่างนี้เปิดต่อยซ้ายต่อยขวาศอกซ้ายศอกขวาอ่ะเล่นไปหันตามแข้ง
Krulek descends from a line of master craftsmen. Like his ancestors, he earns a living creating masterpieces, traditional Thai puppets worth thousands of dollars to collectors. As Krulek puts it, meticulousness is ingrained in my heart. This applies to his fine art as well as his martial art.
The first thing I notice as Bob and I arrive late for class is Krulek's graciousness.
Krulek deplores that modern Muay Thai focuses only on winning in the ring. The traditional fighting style he teaches stresses the deeper spiritual aspects of the art.
Quá. Cắt thác. Cắt thác.เข้าที่ทิ่มกระแทกเข้าที่ Very good.
When you've never seen the moves, everything is new. So it's like position and arms, and you want to correct your feet. Then you want to correct also this, you know.
This position เรียกแม่ไม้มันใช้ยาแช่เราพลิกมือเราพลิกมือปัง
Yeah.
Krulek maintains that Muay Thai is an art, just like his painting, and that both disciplines demand the same step-by-step approach.
Lesson number 2. Whatever your task, concentrate. The end result depends on attention to detail.
The origins of the term Muay are unclear. Krulek explains that in the past, Thai men oiled their long hair and tied it back in a ponytail, twisting it into a spiral knot. He tells us that today the word Muay describes this arranging of hair into a knot. Somehow, this term was transferred to the martial art, where it is defined by Krulek as meaning tight, grounded, and focused.
J'adore le camp de Krulek. He is remarkably well-rounded. A talented artist is also as strong as a horse, but with a truly gentle nature.
This position, you punch me.
Yeah.
You punch me again.
Yeah.
Same time.
Yeah.
Bang. Bang.
Before I leave him, Krulek organizes a traditional Thai puppet show performing ancient tales from the Ramakian, an epic tale that greatly influenced classical Thai arts. It is as important to the Thai people as Homer's Iliad is to many Westerners.
For centuries, Burma and Thailand were continuously at war. Soldiers, officers, even kings were trained to fight barehanded or with weapons. This was the golden age of Krabi Grabong, the art of fighting with sword and staff. As armies headed into battle, war elephants were flanked by mounted cavalry. The cavalry, in turn, by heavily armed infantry carrying rhinoceros hide shields. Armed with swords, specialized soldiers were trained to guard the legs of the war elephants. One of the most famous of Thai war heroes is King Naresuan. In 1592, King Naresuan, in single-handed elephant-back combat, killed the Burmese crown prince. King Naresuan's style of swordmanship, Krabi Grabong, was long cherished as a national art. Even today, King Naresuan is hailed as the savior of his nation.
I'm fascinated to learn how Krabi Grabong relates to Muay Thai. I asked Krulek, who is the best master to initiate me into Krabi Grabong? His immediate response, Ajahn Manot.
This temple, Wat Yai Chai Mong Kong, commemorates King Naresuan's famous battle. A master of King Naresuan's style of Krabi Grabong, Ajahn Manot hopes to bring his teachings to a new generation of martial artists. Ajahn Manot's patron, Ajahn Chai, himself a master, refuses to allow Josette to come to Ajahn Manot's school in Bangkok. But he agrees to a meeting in Thailand's ancient capital, approximately 89 kilometers or 55 miles north of Bangkok. From the middle of the 14th century, for more than 400 years, Ayutthaya, which means unbeatable, was a cosmopolitan trading city famous for its magnificent temples and palaces. Thais still speak of the fierce fighting spirit with which their ancestors defended Ayutthaya.
Ajahn Chachai. Nice finally to meet you. Ça me fait plaisir.
I want to learn more about Krabi Grabong and its link to Muay Thai. But I have to convince Ajahn Manot of my sincere desire to experience the art of King Naresuan. It's a special experience to be here with these masters. Ajahn Chachai explained that Wat Phra Sisanpet is the most important temple in the royal palace compound. The three outstanding chedi, or stupas, were built in the 15th century and enshrine the ashes of three kings. And to see all these Buddhist monks clad in their saffron robes climbing the step of the shrines, it's like jumping back in time. As a courtesy, Ajahn Chachai offers an impromptu training session. Is Ajahn Manot reluctant or just shy? I can tell.
Non, il faut continuer là maintenant.
It takes incredible coordination to master 2 swords at once. I need to concentrate, but what a rush. As I'm training with him, Ajahn Manot seems to come alive. Up until now, I have felt our worlds and nothing in common. But for a moment, I feel there is a connection. I leave Ayutthaya with a small taste of Gravi Rabang and the hope that I will be accepted in the school. Ajahn Chachai is courteous, diplomatic. But the master, Ajahn Manot, is once again reserved and in his own world. This is Asia, and the name of the game is subtlety. I haven't had the courage to ask Ajahn Manot directly to teach me Gravi Rabang, and Ajahn Chachai steers the conversation away from that. The time is not right. I'll find a proper moment. À l'attaque. I won't be defeated.
Josette is waiting in Bangkok for permission to train in Thai weaponry with the reclusive master Ajahn Manot. It's been days since she asked his patron, Ajahn Chachai, if she could train at their school. The response, silence. But 20 years of rigorous martial arts has taught Josette persistence. She will not take no for an answer. She is convinced that if she doesn't experience Gravi Rabang firsthand with Ajahn Manot, her understanding of Thai martial arts will suffer.
At last, I am on my way to train with Ajahn Manot. I got a phone call inviting me to show up at the school. I don't know why things have changed. I may never know why, but here I am. I'm surprised by the warmth with which I'm greeted. Ajahn Manot seems genuinely happy to receive me, and Ajahn Chachai even takes a moment to introduce me to the class. Then it's down to business. Lesson number 3. Work with other cultures as you find them. It will serve you well.
During the Ayutthaya era, women as well as men fought for Thailand. Although in the past Thai women trained and fought with weapons, today women entering the ring are more often Westerners like Josette.
It's really difficult because you have to get to put the strength and then you have to get the coordination, and this is why they have all those white lines on it. So you're cutting the neck and then you're cutting the knee and then you're cutting the neck and then you're cutting the torso, or you're going back from underneath up like this.
With swords in his hands, Ajahn Manot is transformed. Gone are the reticence and the shyness.
Sulaka, voilà. Sulaka, voilà.
ทวงยกมือพนมทุกทิศาอีกทั้งองค์บิดรและมารดา
Raise your hands and pay homage. That's what Ajahn Manot says at the beginning of his chant. This ritual is the Gravi Rabang equivalent of the ceremony performed before each Muay Thai fight. In an unexpected act of generosity, Ajahn Manot accepts Josette as an official student at the King Naresuan school. Josette can hardly believe her good fortune.
After all the phone calls, all the refusals, the last thing I expected was to be initiated by Ajahn Manot in this very ancient ceremony. I was happy just to take the classes. This goes way beyond my expectations.
Engrossed in the ceremony, Josette barely notices a sudden swirl of wind. But Ajahn Manot and Ajahn Chai do. They take this as a positive sign from the spirit of King Naresuan.
Later, both of them tell me the wind means my presence here today heralds a glorious new age for Grabi Grabong. That's when I realized the great difference in our perspectives, where one person sees only a swirl of wind, another senses a supernatural manifestation. Lesson number 4. To grasp another culture, you have to put aside your preconceptions.
Her bruising training finally brings Josette to Wat Po, one of the most visited temples in Thailand and home to the famous reclining Buddha. But it's not sightseeing that has brought Josette here today. Wat Po is also home to an equally famous school for traditional Thai massage. Massage is an essential part of Thai culture.
Traditional Thai massage parlors are easy to find in Bangkok. The girls giggle because my feet are totally wrapped. They don't run across many women practicing Thai martial arts nowadays. Given what's ahead of me, a good foot massage is not a luxury, it's a necessity. I need to intensify my training and work on my cardio and physical endurance because I've committed myself to train with professional fighters. This will be the biggest physical challenge of my journey, perhaps my life. I'm going to train with male fighters between the ages of 16 and 26. I'm old enough to be their mother, but there is no turning back now.
Josette has come to Fairtex, a professional training camp run by Muay Thai living legend Ajahn Abide. The top Fairtex fighters live here year-round, some with their families. To fulfill their dreams of glory in the ring, they train 6 days a week. For teachers, trainers, and fighters, Muay Thai is a way of life. The camp's goal is simple: make champions.
The head teacher at Fairtex is Ajahn Abide, the Muhammad Ali of Thailand. I could hire Ajahn Abide to train me, but my hope is that he will decide I am a worthy fighter and choose to train me.
Arguably the most famous of modern Muay Thai fighters, Ajahn Abide won over 95% of his more than 300 bouts. His thundering kicks knocked out legions of opponents, and he became known as the Kicker King. His legendary career spanned 25 years. By the 1920s, the palace gardens and dirt rings gave way to the modern arena. In 1956, Lumpini Stadium opened in Bangkok as a major venue for professional Muay Thai, a role it continues to fulfill to this day. Each week, there are hundreds of Muay Thai fights all over Thailand, and fights are televised 4 and 5 nights a week. Like professional football, it's now big business.
I'm training with champions in the making. I want them to take me seriously.
With the exception of the modern pads, gloves, and protectors, fighters train the way they have for centuries. Each training session is broken into 6-minute rounds. Round after round, fighters must show total effort. Power hitting sessions like this go on throughout daily training. They help build power, cardio, and muscular endurance.
I'm beginning to figure out how things work here at the camp. For foreigners, being admitted to Fairtex is easy. You pay, you're in. But earning the respect of a Ajahn Apide and the other fighters is a different story.
Josette's intensive workout starts every morning at 6 o'clock with a 20-kilometer run. For several days, a fever of over 39 degrees Celsius has jeopardized Josette's training regimen. Dehydrated, she has even had spells of delirium.
We punch and kick full force, 5 hours a day against bags, blockers, focus mitts, and each other. This is the most bruising training I ever endured. My health may be lousy, but I'm trying not to show it. I don't want to seem weak to Ajahn Apide and these professional fighters. I'd rather drop. I've heard it is said that even today, Thai soldiers will offer bribes to fight on the front lines. That kind of courage must be rubbing off on me.
Ajahn Apide has been quietly watching Josette punch, kick, and hit at high intensity. Now, Muay Thai's Hall of Famer starts showing an interest.
As I climb into the ring, I realize I'm climbing over the top rope, something no woman is ever supposed to do. Have I already screwed up?
Okay.
Welcome to my home. Welcome to our home.
Bon dia. Welcome to my home. Come on.
Welcome to the world's most exclusive suburbs. In this original production, we open the door to a new kind of cultural experience. Living it up in Buenos Aires is nothing like luxury in Tokyo. Argentina knows how to party, but Japan takes it to a whole new level. So come and take the grand tour. International Open House, Sunday night at 8:25 on Nat Geo Adventure.
The time of our lives, May 13th, Monday to Friday, only on the National Geographic Channel.
A 6-month contract, $150K in pocket, and one of the world's 7 natural wonders is your office.
From the United Kingdom, Ben Saville.
Who could ask for more?
So welcome to the office, man. Beautiful.
Now's your chance to check out what all the hype's about.
What an amazing experience.
And see if it's really all it's cracked up to be.
It's not so bad.
See what having the best job in the world really means. Thursday nights at 9:45 on Nat Geo Adventure.
Josette has endured grueling training at Fairtex, a professional fighter's training camp. Despite a fever of over 39 degrees Celsius, she refuses to quit. She has been hoping all along that former Muay Thai champion Ajahn Apide will take an interest in her. When he finally does, She is on her last legs.
Very good. Good. Kick. Oh, beautiful.
Finally, I am in the ring with Ajahn Apide. This is it, the climax of all my training in Thailand. Nothing is going to escape his attention, but he's very encouraging.
Beautiful. Yeah. Kick. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah.
I can feel myself starting to fade. The 5 hours I've already trained today are taking their toll. I have nothing else to give, but the champ keeps pushing me.
Again. Beautiful, huh? No. Again. Okay, knee. Okay, oh, beautiful. Again. One. Good.
Lesson number 5. A great teacher will help you rise to heights you thought you could never reach.
And once upon a time, was it Ajahn Apide champion?
Yes, Apide champion.
It's quite moving to be here with Ajahn Apide in the Lumpini Stadium, the Bangkok landmark where he fought as a champion. And I am warned, don't step into the ring. In this building, the sacred shrine of modern Muay Thai, the ring is the altar. Women are still forbidden to enter the ring. And I know not to even put my hand inside the ropes. The smell of camphor fills the air. It all reminds me of when I used to compete in karate. This is the first chance I have to actually watch fighters tape their hands and build up their knuckles before putting on the now mandatory gloves. I flash back to crew like telling me that in more brutal times, the bindings around the fists were often soaked in resin and then coated with fragments of glass or stone chips. Dried in the sun, these bindings became vicious tools, causing injury and mutilation. As we head for our seats at ringside, I can feel the excitement building. Watching the Ramwai unfold, I'm reminded that avid gamblers insist they can tell who will win just by watching how well a fighter performs this ritual. Having chosen a winner, a frenzy of betting begins in the stands across from me. At the sound of the bell, I feel myself tense as the first of the 2 Fairtech fighters that I became friends with at the camp engages his opponent. My friend is the one in the red shorts. He and the other fighters seem pretty evenly matched until... We all thought the fight should have been called right then, but the referee seems to think otherwise. The pounding keeps going, back and forth. Him on the temple, right there.
I mean, the level of endurance of those guys is absolutely unbelievable. And I don't know what they do, but hardly anyone gets cuts, you know, so I don't know if it's the skin that gets used to it, and even the bone crushing on the legs, just how they, you know, to get used to get this level of hits one after the other. It's just, and then the rib cage, it's just amazing.
With one opponent down, my eyes are fixed on the second of Apide's fighters. He's the one in the pink trunks. I was told because of its position on the fight card, there is a lot of money riding on this bout. As the fight progresses, I can feel John Apide's frustration. He tells me that his fighter has a lot of potential, but he's often lazy. But this time, he rises to the challenge. As the fighter comes to kneel in front of his patron, I'm struck by how much of Muay Thai's past is still evident today. The massage, the wrapping of the hands, the Ramuai ceremony, and the respect for the king. These traditions keep alive the spirit of the ancient warriors.
All martial arts are inseparable from their country's history and culture. Today, as Muay Thai becomes more commercialized, its challenge is to preserve its own glorious heritage. Bob Carver, Ajahn Chai, Kru Lek, Ajahn Manot, and Ajahn Apide. These masters are helping martial artists to develop a mental attitude that will last them for life. More importantly, these masters are keeping alive the long tradition of Thailand's martial arts.
And they have taught me well. Muay Thai is the most rigorous of all the martial arts I've tried. The extreme fatigue, the rush of adrenaline of performance, nothing pushes a mind and body to such limits. A sudden swirl of wind convinced the masters of Krabi Krabong that my presence could help rescue their dying art. Such is their sincerity, they've almost convinced me too. My goal as a martial artist is to transcend the daily dimensions of life, to win what the masters win, a touch of invincibility.